song, pretty lady. Born to be angry, grip of the vice, click on the trigger, girl. Sip hard on ice, it's about time. Best to the right, you better know. My heart's your, go baby go. It's about time. I'm on a tightrope. Don't go. It's about time. It's about. All the years of paradise, paradigms paralyze us. You're crazy. All the cards you organize, shuffle twice in front of my eyes. Everybody needs what's so cold, girl. Lights, love, go, baby, go. It's about time. I'm on a tightrope. Don't go. It's about time. It's about.
The stage is set. The drivers are ready. It's time for round 2 of ATC15, presented by Sync Mesh here at Road America. It is the second location on the season 15 calendar, and it's a sprint challenge. 2 25-minute races lined up today. That second race is going to have a 13-car invert at the beginning. So the results of the first race will set the starting grid for the second race, but then we'll invert those top 13 finishers, and we'll go from there. So the first race of the day was set by solo qualifying, 3 laps around a fairly long track. A lot of time to think about every little mistake that you end up making, especially in cars as slow as this. You have the entire straightaway to think about it if you mess up one of these corners. But for Michael Polasek, no mistakes this time. He is almost 3/10 clear of Matthew Mayer, and then over half a second clear of Logan McKenzie. And then by the time you are to P5, there's a second gap. In P5, let's pay attention to this. That is your Delta Race 1 winner, John Daniels. He is starting 5th in that T0 Valkyries Veloster, alongside the likes of Lausanne, Zachary Bowman, last season's Delta champion, who had a career performance in qualifying as well. Raymond 2, Zachary Liebold is up there, Micah Hendricks, a very interesting top 10. This is a very new top 10, honestly. This is the new ATC, at least so far in ATC 15. Let's see if it continues. Now, P2 in the Delta class also had a pretty good qualifying performance. He's just not in 5th, and that's Dave Thomas sitting in 11th for Chase Sim Racing, 4/10 off of John Daniels' time, but 3/10 ahead of 3rd place in the Delta class, Kurt Smith. Akers, Acatella, Zepka, and Mitchell sit in between all those guys. Bertolucci having another struggle in qualifying today, and then Yavi Sierra is sitting there in 18th. DeJay and Murray round out the top 20. Then you have Darnell rounding out the back of the Alpha field. Lynn, Rickmeyer, Rakowski, and Tyler Long. Long making his first start of the season. Then Gilbert, Trost, Dunbar, Haight, Al Ridgeless, Stuckey, Thomas, Clavijo, Mark Booley also making his first start of the season. Gareth McAllister, Brian Saab, Kevin Johnson, and then Jeremy Barber round out this 38 car field for round 2 of the season. And looking down at the field there, they are getting ready to go. Just waiting on a few more cars to get gridded up. There is your pole sitter, Michael Polasek. And he will certainly be trying to make a go of it today. He won the first race of the season quite handily. Will he be able to do so again here at Road America? At least race 1, he'll be starting pole. Race 2 with the invert, it may not be so straightforward. And we await the green flag. Less than 10 seconds to go here, and I think they are getting ready. Michael Polasek will lead us off here at Road America. And the second race of the season is a go. Polasek leads us off with Mayer close behind, and he got a good enough start that he may be able to give Polasek something heading down to turn 1. And the rest of the field filing in behind, and then 2, 3 wide in the background. Polasek takes the lead through the first corner. And we have one car off in the background. It looks like it is Cooper Akers. Everyone else so far so good as they come through turn 2. Or actually, that may be turn 3. No, the turn numbers are a little strange on this track. This is technically a turn they're going through now. And will Mayer have something for Polasek? He'll have to defend into turn 5 on this very first lap. And no, Mayer thinks better of it. Stays behind. And in the background, you have Bowman making a move on Micah Hendricks. And last season's Delta champion has just passed your 2-time Alpha champion. And further back, I'm looking at Kyle Murray on the inside of Jason Lynn, both of them running behind Yavi Sierra. And Murray will pull ahead in that battle, and behind Rickmeyer staying ahead of Jess Rakowski. Your Delta leader, John Daniels, runs just behind Zachary Liebold. Dave Thomas, P2, right behind him. Daniels got a bad start. It dropped him from 5th straight to 10th, and now he's got some work to do. Just behind Kurt Smith, trying to make a move on Matthew Zepka through the carousel, and on exit, Zepka he is given the absolute minimum amount of space there, and he'll have to tuck in behind as they go through the kink. On exit, Zepka gets a better run, and he's going to look to go back around Smith. On board with Ian Bertolucci. Acatella behind this battle. Look at this, they're 2x2 coming into the corner, very hot. And on exit, they are somehow all still alive. Now Damon Mitchell has joined this fight. Oh, a little touch! And Damon Mitchell manages to save it. And behind, Mark Darnell sneaks through. And so far, somehow, all of them are alive. I cannot believe that didn't end in tears for somebody involved in that. And it looks like Kyle Murray is going to be pulling onto pit lane. And that may be due to drive-through penalty. And up ahead, Hendricks under pressure from Raymond 2 now. And into turn 1, he's having to defend against the 96. And on the exit of the corner, 2 has nowhere to go with that one. He has to back out of it. And further behind, Jason Lynn and Jess Rakowski side by side into the second corner. And under the brakes, Rakowski will sneak ahead, and that will open the door for Mitchell Rickmeyer to go up and under. And while this is happening, further ahead on the run down to turn 5, it's Liebold and Lazan. As they hit the braking zone, they have the 2 Delta leaders right behind them, so this could have major implications on that fight for the lead. Liebold's going to try and cross Lazan back over in the battle for the Delta lead, maybe hotting up behind them. Daniels has to go defensive against Thomas. They're still too wide ahead. Behind them, Rick Meyer has crashed. Tyler Long has also wrecked. Rakowski and DeJay are side by side. Action happening up and down the field. Incidents happening up and down the field. These drivers are racing hard for these positions. Rakowski goes right and then goes left on DJ. DJ leaves her the space. There's going to be a little bit of contact in the middle of the corner. They're both going to slow up, and Evan Clavijo, coming in hot, has to slow down. Rakowski, I think, was not wanting to perform an illegal overtake there, but neither of them wanted to let Evan through, so it ended up being a rolling roadblock. And now they come through the carousel, and they're still 2 by 2. And are they going to go through the kink? Oh, they hold it. No, a little bit of contact. Rakowski going wide. She managed to save it. DJ comes out of that cleanly, and Clavijo loses out trying to avoid a wreck that never happens. Lazan and Leibold are still side by side as they come through Canada corner. The Delta leader, John Daniels, is pushing John Lazan up the hill. A little bit of contact. And as they come into the corner, Daniels and Leibold contact. Leibold in the back of Lazan, and they're both off track, and it ends in tears for the pair of them. Further up ahead, Akatela pulling alongside Matthew Zepka. We just cannot stop here. The action is relentless. Akatela pulls back into the slipstream. Up ahead, Thomas trying to go for a move for the Delta lead into turn 1. Does he try something? No, he does not. And the pairs of cars behind him, they all stay in a row as well. And this will be the first moment here where there isn't an active battle happening on track, honestly. Checking in on the battle for the overall race lead. That is not the usual done and done situation. Mayer is very close to Polasek. And as they head into turn 5, he's been keeping in the slipstream here. And it feels like if he can just get close enough, he might try a move. The battle for the Delta lead as they come down to the same corner. It's going to be tight. Thomas on the inside. This will be his move. He has never won a Delta race. This is his second Delta start. He's going to eke ahead of the O2 on the exit of the corner, and Zepka will be right there, but Daniels is staying on his right side. Now he has to back out, and he will keep Zepka behind them. And look at them all in a row, stacked behind the battle for the Delta lead. It is Zepka, Akatela, Smith, and then is that Mitchell? That is Mitchell. And then Mitchell's teammate, Darnell. Further back, oh, look at this, Kevin Johnson and Mitchell Rickmeyer. Rickmeyer was involved in an incident earlier, and I believe that was the incident at turn 5. It involved a couple cars. Tyler Long, Rickmeyer were 2 of the cars that were involved there. Johnson going a bit wide in the Corvette corner. That's going to allow Rickmeyer to come up alongside him in the battle for 10th place in the Delta class. Gilbert and Stuckey behind. What can they do as they look at this battle up ahead? Rickmeyer's going to get boxed out by Kevin Johnson as they come to the exit of the carousel. A little shot to Gilbert from Stuckey. Rickmeyer tucks in behind, but these two may be going to the kink side by side, and I think Gilbert's going to lose out there. And Rickmeyer going a bit wide on the exit. There's a lot of trees in that shot, so we'll look to this shot. Gilbert trying to come back at Stuckey while Trost under pressure from McAllister behind. Oh no, Gilbert in the braking zone, loses control, coming back across and somehow avoids hitting Trost, and big contact with the 57. And Rickmeyer staying ahead of Stuckey during all of that. But I wasn't sure if that was a brake check from somebody or if Gilbert just lost it in the braking zone. We look back to the Delta leaders, and this is nowhere close to over. John Daniels still on the back of Thomas, but they have so many Alpha cars stacked up behind them. They're looking to get through and capitalize on these points. There's DJ and Zachary Leibold, who's driving without a front bumper, and DJ has gone around him on the front straight. I imagine he's probably down on straight line speed in that car right now. As they come through turn 2, let's take a peek and see if we can get an idea. I mean, look at that. He's in the slipstream, and he's already down at least 1 kph. It's going to be tough for him to pass people during the rest of this race. There's Rickmeyer losing out to Stuckey. So that's Stuckey into P11 in the Delta class. Just ahead, that's Marcel Thomas, who has Cooper Akers behind. Akers had the incident at the start of the race. And I have just heard contact behind, and I see Tyler Stuckey is off track, and he's lawn mowing, and that doesn't look good. The car is not going. I don't see damage to it, but he ended up laying a lot of cars through over the course of that. Back to the race lead. Polasek has opened up a small advantage over Mayer, who has the same advantage over McKenzie. And these three are just strung out enough where they aren't really attacking each other. Jess Rakowski is next in line to go around the ailing Veloster of Zachary Leibold. And as she comes through the kinks, Zach's going to go wide, and it's not going to be very difficult here for Jess to fly on through. It's basically going to be a DRS pass as they come to Canada Corner. And the Formula Llama driver just trying to staunch the bleeding now. Dave Thomas still holding on to this Delta lead, but it's close. Daniels has been attached to the back bumper of Thomas ever since that overtake was performed. We still have 15 minutes left in the race. That's not a whole lot of laps. That's probably 6 or 7 laps from here. Now, look at this slipstream. Where does Daniels go? He goes for the bump draft. I wonder if he's thinking long term. If they start scrapping, the Alpha drivers go around them, and then he may lose out. We go back to Rakowski, who had Leibold come back at her in the back sector of the track, but she's going to look for a crossover move and lap into turn 2 to try and get this one back. She does end up trying to put a nose in there, but it's not going to work out. Behind, Evan Clavijo closing in. Clavijo's up 13 spots in this race so far, currently running 6th in class. Damon Mitchell into turn 5. It looked like he was going to have a go at Kurt Smith and thought better of it. A lot of cars going wide up there. Daniels lost a little bit of ground to Thomas. And now it's Zepka on his back. And Akers is now going to try and make a move on the other Thomas, Marcel Thomas, who loses out to Brian Saab in the process, who is Dave Thomas's teammate. And back to Dave Thomas. There he is. A little bit of breathing room now for him. Not so much for Daniels. We go on board with Connor Acatella. You get an idea of just how stacked up things are right here. And behind them, Rakowski is again in position to make a move on Leibold. Pushing him through the kink, essentially. And now she pulls out to the right. Trying to get a little bit of side draft. Zach's not missing too much top speed here. They hit the braking zone. And they're going to be even. And on the exit, he's going to lose out to Clavijo as well. It looked like there may have been a little contact at the apex, but it's going to be Rakowski going through. Clavijo gains another position in this one as well. And we look back again to the leaders of their class. Thomas, Daniels, Daniels has gotten a little bit of breathing room. He's closed that breathing room that Thomas picked up, but he's brought Zepka and Acatella right along with him. And it's interesting that Zepka and Acatella are struggling so much to get around here. I wonder if Thomas is faster than all of them, is kind of just helping Daniels by tugging him along. And now Zepka is going to look to the left for a move here, but Daniels is going to stay in the slipstream of Thomas, and now Thomas moves to the middle of the track. I wonder if he's thinking, who do I give the slipstream to? And looking back at the two of them, Daniels and Zepka going into turn 5. Zepka avoiding contact at the apex. And he'll have the advantage as they come to Corvette. He'll pull ahead, and Acatella is going to follow him through, and this is exactly what Dave Thomas wants to see. And Kurt Smith is right there as well. Remember, he's not out of this fight for the Delta victory. He's right there with Daniels now. Further ahead, Zachary Bowman looking for a career best finish since Sebring at the start of last season, where he finished second thanks to a wet tire start. Excuse me, was it a dry tire start? It was a dry tire start in very just kind of damp conditions. Almost won that race. This would be his best career finish in dry conditions. And he's doing it while holding off Micah Hendricks and Raymond too. He's up 2 spots since the start of it. Micah's up 4. And 2's up 1. The top 4 have been very stationary. I mean, we haven't talked about Mike D'Amita at all. He's just been cruising. He's a bit lonely out there. 3 seconds ahead, 5-ish seconds behind, and no one to really look at. Now, Damon Mitchell is the next Alpha car looking to pass Smith and Daniels, but he's been stuck behind Smith for a good bit now. This is kind of a DRS train situation going on here. Nobody's really able to get alongside as long as that car in front doesn't make a mistake. Mitchell may try something into turn 1. He does look to the right. He'll force Smith off the racing line. A little contact at the apex, but the 27 will go through. And behind, Clavijo's trying to make a move on Rakowski in the same manner. But he is not going to have the same kind of success. Now, Rakowski goes for defensive line into turn 2, so Clavijo switches to the outside. Slows up quite a bit to maximize the exit. And now, he's got a decent run. He'll look to the right side. Just under 10 minutes to go in this contest. Almost making contact as they approach the corner. And under the brakes, they are dead even. Clavijo's going to go very wide here, and Leibold's now going to look to take advantage and try and get past him. He may go for both of them. A little bit of contact, and Clavijo's going to lose out into the grass. He actually manages to gather that up. I thought that he was going to go sailing out of that corner. Instead, he just loses out to the pair of these drivers. And they continue on. And while we were watching that, Mitchell we watched Mitchell get around Kurt Smith. Mitchell's teammate, Mark Darnell, is back there with Bertolucci. Bertolucci hasn't been able to get behind, around Darnell either. And Yavi Sierra is not too far off that group either. And this may be the time for the 51 to try something. Will he look to the right in Canada corner? No. The Elantra stays where it is. Your race leader continues to be Michael Polosek. You see he is broken, or almost completely broken, that slipstream that Matthew Mayer was holding on to. And now it's just, I think he's leaving Mayer and McKenzie to scrap for that second position now. Bertolucci has a nose alongside Mark Darnell, and as they come to turn 1, he's going to look to make a move. And ahead, Mitchell's going to do the same to Daniels. And Daniels has already lost out to Acatella. Now he's going to lose out to Mitchell. And Bertolucci doing the same to Darnell. So Dave Thomas's lead continues to grow. Zepka hasn't been able to catch him, while Daniels has slowly been slipping behind these Alpha drivers. So more and more, it looks like Thomas is going to be able to hold on and win this one. And that battle for 5th place, very close. But Hendricks hasn't, I mean, we haven't seen Hendricks actually get alongside Bowman, I think, and go for a move. This has been fairly standard follow the leader stuff from this group, at least for the time being. There goes McKenzie, and there's the Amida, and then look at how big this gap is to the next group. And then there's Thomas, who goes a little wide there, feeling a little bit of pressure from Zepka. Zepka has been performing a quiet climb up the grid. He's up 5 spots since the start. And now a little bit of something at the kink maybe. Look at all the grass that Bowman and Hendricks are kicking up. Both of them went wide at the kink. They come into Canada and there is no drama there. We look to Zepka. He may go for something here. but he couldn't get alongside Thomas in the braking zone and stays where he is. Michael Polsek setting the fastest lap of the race last time around, really cementing his spot in the lead. Further back, Clavijo is back behind, he's back up to the rear of Liebold, and again, fighting for this position. And then there's Rakowski's teammate, Callie Haight, missing a front bumper, defending against Marcel Thomas. Oh, and Thomas gets the crossover. And this outside line, tough to hold, but if you can, then you'll have the preferred line, I think, into the final corner. And now he can clear Callie. She may have a run at him into turn 1. This is the scrap for 7th in class. Oh no! Oh no! Contact! And Thomas is into the wall. Damage to the 13. The 33 continues on, but quite a few cars are going to go by. Rick Meyer. And then here comes a larger group, and Thomas is just going to pull that one over to the side. Dave Thomas. Oh no! Zepka almost getting into the back of the Delta leader, and that could have been disastrous. 5 minutes left here in the first race at Road America. And Kurt Smith going for a move on John Daniels into turn 5. Or not turn 5, that was Corvette. And he makes the move. Daniels, maybe not too pleased about that, but it looks clean to me. And Smith has gotten that one done, moving into P2 in class. Now there's 3 Alpha drivers between them and Dave Thomas, and only 3 laps left here, really. Looking back up at Bowman and Hendricks, Hendricks is dealing with more pressure from 2 than he is putting pressure on Bowman. Into Canada, he manages to keep them behind. This group, there is Dave Thomas on the exit of Canada. Zepka still just not able to find a way through. I wonder, but let's see how good this slipstream is working for the 490 as they get on the exit of the final corner. He is very, very close. I mean, that is within 2/10. And up the hill, the slipstream working, gets the side draft. And across the line they go. Into turn 1. I think Thomas may yield here. And yes, no drama there. Zepka's finally made it through. And now 6 positions gained for the 490 in this one thus far. Thomas looking on from behind. Behind them, Daniels is still trying to find a way back around the 3, but Bertolucci is closing in. He got past Darnell some laps ago, and Daniels will have the run here to do something to Smith. The question is, does he go right, does he go left? Where does Smith go? He defends to the right. Daniels chooses the inside line on the brakes, a bit shallow, but he'll be fully around the 3. The 3 missing the apex, and here comes the 51 of Bertolucci. And actually, Bertolucci under pressure from Mark Darnell, who gets to the inside. He can't quite get it done, and now Yavi Sierra has joined the fight. Oh, Darnell going defensive, and Sierra has to hold where he is. Trying to stick his car into that gap on the right side, but there just wasn't enough space. Two minutes to go. Michael Polsek will be picking up the white flag this time by coming in to the final corner now. I think it's going to be a relatively simple back-to-back victory to start the season for the number 1. But he's still got 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to set a clean lap here at Road America and get this one done. we look back to Mitchell and Acatella. This fight for the top 10 in the Alpha class is not over. Acatella will have some slipstream from the Delta leader, which is going to give him a big help. Behind, what's this? John Daniels, has he hit the incident limit? He's coming down pit road, and a podium, a Delta podium, will turn into, oh, I don't know. He'll probably stay in the Delta top 10. He may end up 6th ahead of Kyle Murray here, as there's a pretty big gap to fit into behind Evan Clavijo, who's going to go past right there along with Rakowski. Looking back to Mitchell, who got around Acatella while we were watching that. Did it into turn 1. Cooper Akers going around Zachary Liebold. A few last-minute passes for position here. Bertolucci is looking to make good on his planned overtake on Kurt Smith. And he pulls to the left. In the most common overtaking zone of the track, turn 5, and no contest. Bertolucci is through. That puts him into 12th. He's gained 5 spots on the day. Behind, Rakowski trying to make this a 4th place in the Delta class now. Now that Daniels has departed from in front of them, and she completes the overtake. Last minute scrapping in the top 5 of the Delta class. And I think, for the most part, these battles are wrapping up. Michael Polasek coming through the final section of the track now. It has been a perfect performance from the number 1. And he's going to go 2 for 2 in ATC 15 thus far. Around the final corner for Yellow Flag Motorsports. It was a perfect 11 laps from Michael Polasek. He is going to win the first race of the day here at Road America. Matthew Mayer will come home 2nd and Logan McKenzie 3rd. And there are all 3 of your podium finishers on screen right there. In the Delta class, David Thomas, he's trying to hold on to some points here ahead of Damon Mitchell. Oh, and Clavijo went for a move on Rakowski in Canada corner, but went wide. We go back to Thomas, who's coming up the straightaway now. I think he's going to keep Mitchell behind him, and he's also going to keep the rest of the Delta class behind him. It's a first career victory for Dave Thomas. And that wraps up today's racing. Kurt Smith comes home P2 in the Delta class, and JB DeJay, I feel like we barely talked about him today. He sneaks in there and gets that 3rd place podium in class. Well done by Elantra driver. That wraps up the first race of the day here at Road America. A few more cars coming across the line now. There goes Kyle Murray, and then Stuckey and McAllister. And then there's a little bit of scrapping still going on. If we check in on the 661, Jason Lynn. He's currently running just ahead of Mark Booley, who has survived his first Alpha Touring Challenge start. Gained 5 spots. You know, typically worse things happen to you in your first start in this series. Tyler Long, also going to bring it home cleanly with Dunbar just behind. And that will be it for the first 25 minutes here at Road America. It was more like almost 30 minutes with how long that the closing laps are. But there you go. We will return shortly for the second race of the day here at Road America. Stay tuned. That was a close finish. Well, this is it. Your race 1 winner, Michael Polasek, starts 13th. Kurt Smith starts on pole alongside Ian Bertolucci. How will this play out? Lap 1, Smith is going to lead us off. We're getting ready to go for race 2 here at Road America. And we are go. And Smith gets a good start, keeping Bertolucci behind. Thomas getting a weaker start. I see Bowman also with a slow start. McKenzie and Polsek sneaking through there as we head to turn 1. Bertolucci moving to the right side of Smith, and it'll be Bertolucci jumping into the lead of this one on lap 1. Down to turn 2, Bertolucci flashing his lights. He's happy about that one. And now Smith and Mitchell are going to go side by side into the second corner. And on exit, Smith's going to hold second place, or maybe not. He goes wide. Kicked out into the wall. And now he's going to have to rejoin. Oh, a very, very sharp rejoin. And now Thomas and Hendricks are going side by side into the 5th corner. 2 by 2 all the way down the field. A little bit of a touch between Hendricks and 2. Are they going to be 3 wide here? Oh, big contact behind. Big crash. Lee Bold, Clavijo, a few cars involved at turn 5. Up ahead, Mitchell and Mayer. They are wheel to wheel along with Thomas and Hendricks. Hendricks is going to eke this one out ahead of Thomas. Mayer trying to get ahead of Mitchell, and now Mitchell's going sideways. He was clipped by somebody. Now John Daniels straight to the side of him. He picked wrong, and DeJay's going to be involved in that one as well. And that is going to take John Daniels out of the running in this one. Not a great day for him. Polasek's going to go through on the Delta winner from race 1. Dave Thomas, and Thomas stays ahead of Matthew Mayer for the moment. Through the kink they go. Ian Bertolucci with a, what is that? A 2-second lead right now. And in the background, there is Matthew Mayer on the right side of Dave Thomas. Now he will complete that pass. And further back for P2 in the Delta class, or the P2 driver in the Delta class, Jess Rakowski. She's running ahead of Kyle Murray behind Dave Thomas, who's leading this one as well. But as the Alpha drivers filter past Thomas, that gap between them is likely to shrink. 1 lap concluded here, and Bertolucci seems very happy about the fact that he's leading this race. He has not stopped flashing his lights. Is he still flashing his lights? No. Okay. He's just having a good time out there. Bowman staying behind Thomas on the straightaway, and Almeida staying behind Darnell. Well, that was a very exciting first lap, but things have calmed down a bit. Bowman going wide there in his chase of the Delta leader. Coming back on relatively safely. Now, up ahead, Acatella leads the group of inverted cars beyond Bertolucci in their chase of the lead. Now, behind here, you see Gilbert. He's going through on Cooper Akers on the straightaway. Akers must have gotten a bad exit. That has allowed Gilbert to take advantage. Hendricks under pressure from McKenzie into turn 5, and now McKenzie's going defensive against Michael Polasek. And Matthew Mayer is not that far off that group either. Darnell looking to the inside of the 6, but the Almeida keeps up the defense and keeps him behind. And Marcel Thomas and Austin Dunbar, they're side by side further back. This is for 10th place in the Delta class. And under the brakes, Dunbar's going to try and sweep around the outside before the carousel. He got a good exit there. And I think he's going to keep it. Back to the battle for P2. Zepka is all over the back of Acatella. Time's running out for these guys because that group that includes Hendricks and McKenzie and Polasek and Mayer, they are only 1 second off of this group now. And looking down at McKenzie and Hendricks from the blimp. Good job, cameraman. Good job with that one. McKenzie just hasn't been able to find a way around the 73 yet. Polasek and Mayer, they have equally had their progress stopped by this. So, you know, if you're one of the leaders, this is what you want to be seeing right now. Because I think Hendricks is probably the slowest of these 4 cars, though that's not saying much. We look a little further back in the field. Kyle Murray Will he go for a move into turn 1? It looks like Rakowski's rear wing might be a little bent. It is a little bent, but she has no other right rear damage. You don't see that too often. No attempted move into turn 1. Into turn 2, McKenzie may go for something here on Hendricks. They all stay in a row here. Things have calmed down a little bit. 20 minutes to go. Your Delta leader, Dave Thomas, is still running just ahead of Zachary Bowman, but this may be where Bowman looks to make that move, and he does pull to the left side. Up ahead, McKenzie looks for a move on Hendricks, but nothing materializes there, so we look back to Bowman, and he completes the overtake. And another move here. Oh, it's Gilbert on Murray, and he goes so deep that Rakowski has to give him space, but he does complete the move on Kyle Murray, and that gets Lewis Gilbert up into P3 in the Delta class. Looking back at Connor Acatella, he is 1.6 seconds off of Bertolucci. That was 3/10 faster than your leader. Bertolucci has not won a race since, I believe, Watkins Glen season 10. That sounds correct to me. We'll have our statisticians check that one. He seems very chuffed about just being in the lead right now, flashing his lights whenever he can. Let's go on board with Matthew Mayer as he is chasing this incredibly quick gaggle of cars here. Into Canada corner. And Ian Bertolucci, yes, his only career win was in fact that race at Watkins Glen. And there's just a 1/10 or 2 separating all these guys as they come through the final corner. And it seems like the closer you get to the rear, the closer they are, but just nothing going there. Acatella may have to perform some defense here, and he will move to the right. Bertolucci will be liking this. Raymond 2 says, you guys need to stop that. You guys need to stop that because they're catching up to us. A lot of headlight flashing going on today. Gilbert is now looking to overtake Rakowski, and he's making that Audi work for him in this second race. Polasek having to go defensive as Matthew Mayer tries to attack him into turn 2, with McKenzie and Hendricks scrapping ahead and no progress being made. He's being backed up into the 12. And Hendricks going on defense now. McKenzie close enough to get alongside him into the braking zone. And I think the 73 is going to easily have this one. McKenzie will go for a crossover into Corvette. There may be a look, maybe a hint of a move. And he stays behind, and Polasek doesn't have anywhere to go with his car either. This is still the closest fighting on track, but the next closest group of cars is that group that's still led by Rakowski, who's been keeping Gilbert behind. And this is all helping out Dave Thomas, who currently holds a 4.5 second lead in the class. And there is the 15 right there. He's got Mike De Almeida closing up to his rear bumper, but he's not too worried about him. Letting him go or not doesn't really matter to him. A double win in the Delta class would be quite a nice get. Now Hendricks has had a slightly wide exit there in the kink, and he has to go defensive, and again McKenzie gets alongside on the outside into a corner, and Hendricks keeping him boxed out. Does McKenzie keep a nose in? I think he did. They're gonna go side by side in the penultimate corner. Oh, and Micah has held that beautifully. McKenzie's going to be under duress as Polasek sneaks in on the inside. And now the former teammates are wheel to wheel, the championship rivals from the past couple seasons. And Matthew Mayer is going to pull to the right side behind Polasek. McKenzie's got Hendricks' slipstream, and he uses it to pull ahead of the 1. To turn 1, what does the 12 do? What does the 1 do? McKenzie stays where he is. A bit of a lunge on Hendricks, but he backs out of it. Polasek, will he have momentum to go for an attack on the 04? He looks to the right, Mayer looks to the left, McKenzie stays on the racing line, and Mayer can't go anywhere with it. That caused them to lose some time to Raymond 2 ahead. That's bought this group time to scrap for the lead. Ian Bertolucci, currently your leader, but he's losing out to Connor Acatella. And now Matthew Mayer looking to put pressure on your championship leader. Into turn 5, he holds the outside, nowhere to go with the crossover. And Polasek will go defensive there just in case. And now Zachary Bowman is pulled up to the back of this group. He is performing exceptionally in this race, showing some really great pace in that car. Back to this fight. This has been brewing for a bit. Jason Lynn and Callie Hay, keep an eye on this one on the scoreboard. Now it's finally come to a head. Oh, a little too much of a head. Contact, and Haight is kicked wide. She rejoins behind Mitchell Rickmeyer, who's going to take advantage and look to the left of Jason Lynn. This is for 5th in the Delta class, and the 89 is through. Oh, and a little bit of touchy-feely from the 33, and she ekes around the outside in the carousel, and Lynn is demoted a couple spaces. Oh, Polasek and Mayer have just gone wide at the kink. We were just about to check in on Dave Thomas. Looks like nothing's going to happen here, and Thomas is going to stay ahead of the Amita as well. Now in the battle for the lead, Bertolucci almost losing out to Acatella, and this is where they're going to lose that ground that they've gained to the fast guys behind. They have about 2 seconds to Hendricks from the back of this group, but now they have nowhere to go with Bertolucci putting a cap on them. And this may be it. Acatella in the slipstream, looking to take the lead away from Bertolucci. He hasn't won a race since Watkins Glen season 10, but Acatella hasn't won a race since New Hampshire season 12. On the brakes into turn 1, sweeping around the outside for the lead. Can Acatella pull this one off? He's into the lead. He goes defensive. Zepka on the outside. Bertolucci puts your nose back in, but the 55 is fully ahead, and now Raymond 2 jumps Zepka in the chaos, and he is going to try and jump Bertolucci as well. Raymond 2 has never won a race in the Alpha Touring Challenge. Now he's got a nose ahead of the 51. If he can finish this off, there will only be one car between him and the lead. Into turn 5 we go. Micah Hendricks is now right on the back of this group, and Ian Bertolucci stays ahead. Matthew Zepka, will he go for a move on the 96? No, Bertolucci's going defensive, and this is helping out Acatella big time. We hit the halfway point in this race, and now it's going to all kick off, because this group has now all come together. Hendricks, where will he go? Does he go for a move? And Micah McKenzie looks for a move. At the same time, Hendricks looks for a move, and it's ended up with Zepka going wide. Now McKenzie will be on his outside as they come through the carousel. They're going to go wheel to wheel here. McKenzie working the outside of the 490 and to the kink. Zepka's going to be side by side with Polasek as McKenzie darts ahead of the senior driver. And now Zepka's going to be under pressure from Mayer. 3 wide as they come to Canada corner. And I think Bowman's going to have a piece of the action as well. Under braking, Bowman's going to go through on Zepka. Can he finish this one off? I think he can, and Zepka demoted all the way back to 9th place after all of that, but they've all survived. Now Raymond 2. He's in 3rd. He sees what's happening behind him, and he knows, okay, it's time. I gotta go. He's on the back of the 51. Let's look back to Yavi Sierra. He's going around Tyler Long here for 24th. We bounce back to Bertolucci in 2. Down the front straightaway, side by side. That side draft working for the Honda. 10 minutes to go here. They hit the braking zone, and that Honda may have a slight advantage on that outside line. It's going to work its way around into turn 2, still holding that spot. Acatella now 1.4 seconds up the road. Bertolucci just closes the door on the 96. And now Micah Hendricks is here, and his momentum is going to result in Bertolucci covering him off. 2 goes to the outside. McKenzie lurks in the background of all this. Oh, Hendricks goes for the move. He's gone a bit deep, and that is going to allow McKenzie to go around 2 and Hendricks, and now Polasek gets involved. And Polasek's going to pass Hendricks, and he may pass Raymond too. He goes around both of them, and Mayer's going to go through as well. He gets side by side with Hendricks. And here they go. Oh, he's not going to take this one laying down. A little bit of contact. McKenzie on the outside of Bertolucci as Mayer goes to the inside of Hendricks. And I think Hendricks is going to hold that. Polasek trying to pass McKenzie on the outside now as Bertolucci's putting a cap on McKenzie. Oh, they all come together a little bit. Polasek with a wiggle. And on the exit of the corner, it will be your 2 championship rivals side by side into the kink. And McKenzie's going to just eke ahead of Polasek. And here comes Raymond too. Will he look for something? Will Micah Hendricks look for something? It's non-stop action here at Road Atlanta. On board with Zachary Bowman as they come into the corner. Mayer on the inside of Raymond too. He's going to get that one done. And then Micah Hendricks. Can he finish this one off on the 96? Yes, he can. Zebka's pulled right back up to this group, but nowhere to go with it. Hendricks still hasn't finished this move. Bowman is involved. And Bowman was slowed up on the exit there, and Matt Zepka is on the scene. Bowman has the slipstream. Zepka has whatever side draft he can get. De Almeida decides to go with Bowman. Your Delta leader Dave Thomas watches on in the background. Side by side to turn 1. It's going to be De Almeida taking advantage here, actually. Oh, and he's trying to finish this move, but really slow at the apex there, and I think Zepka's going to sweep back around. Now McKenzie and Mayer and Bertolucci and Polasek are all right together here. Bertolucci's hooked. Polasek and Bertolucci come together, and Bertolucci is kicked out of this race. Down to turn 5 they go, and Mayer trying to get around McKenzie, but McKenzie goes defensive. Polasek into the back of Mayer, and they all continue as they were, minus the 51. And that is a very long line of cars. That's 9 cars right there, going from 2nd all the way back to 10th, and the Delta lead. Now looking back at this battle, we haven't checked in on it in a while. In the top 5, the battle of the top 5 in the Delta class still going on between Kylie and Jason. And then ahead, that's Kyle Murray behind Lewis Gilbert ahead of Cooper Akers. And then, I think I just heard Bertolucci. Yes, he has fully destroyed that car now. And Connor Acatella, 7 minutes to go in this race, and he has a 4.2 second lead. And like I was saying earlier, his most recent career win, that came at the end of it was ATC 12, right? No, it was ATC 11. So it's been 4 seasons. That was June 24th, 2024. Over a year since Acatella's last career victory. Can he pull it off here today? Further back in the field, Yavi Sierra going around Austin Dunbar for 21st. Bowman under pressure for 7th place. It's going to be Zepka going to the left side. And in turn 1, the 6 is going to again try and take advantage of this and pass Zepka on the inside of turn 2. He's already tried it once. Can he make it work on this lap? And they look a bit more even on exit of the corner this time. And it's going to be down to whoever is braver on the brakes into turn 5. And lunging down, it looks like Diamita's going to have this position, and he has done it. Further back, Polasek and Mayer fighting for this spot. Polasek trying to get back ahead of the 12, and I think he's going to do it. The 12 going a bit wide, and I think Polasek decided he pushed him wide there as he lets him back through. Gilbert's gone wide at turn 5, and that's going to allow a couple cars through. His teammate, the 661, Mitchell Rickmeyer in the 89, also getting around him. Kyle Murray still holding on to that advantage over Cooper Akers despite some front right damage, excuse me. And this group, Polasek still stuck behind the 12. Raymond 2 has been giving Hendricks a lot of hell. Coming through the kink. Hendricks is being helped out by staying in the slipstream of those ahead. We're going to come around this time and get 2 to go. And Agatella's lead has actually grown because McKenzie's mostly been focused on keeping Mayer in his rear view. I think he knows that Acatella is just too far up the road to be caught. And Jason Lynn and Callie Hay are going at it again, and out of Canada corner. Slight advantage for the 661. But now the 33 pulls back ahead into the last corner. They're almost dead even. Oh, and now Gilbert losing traction behind, and he's going to go off. That's going to slow Yavi Sierra here on corner exit. And looking back to that fight, Hadis pushing Lynn up the hill, but Rickmeyer is going to make out like a bandit here, I think, because he got the better exit due to all the goings on. Oh, and Haight trying to make it 3 wide. Almost chaos as they enter turn 1. Oh, a little touch there to Lynn. Into turn 2, nobody is going to be trying to move there. McKenzie under pressure from the 12. They get to turn 5. He looked like he wanted to get back to the other side of McKenzie, but he just couldn't get it done. And he stays where he is, and they're almost 5 seconds off the back of the 55 now. McKenzie is in full-on defense now. Lynn also defending from McKenzie's teammate. Rickmeyer through on turn 5, and Haight's going to try and follow him into the Corvette corner, and she's through as well. So we go back to this top group, and the 04 is doing everything he can to keep this defense going on. But for now, it is succeeding, but it's also allowing Acatella to run away with this race victory. And Matthew Mayer, a bad exit out of the kink, and Michael Polasek may have this move done as they head to Canada corner. They're equal, but Mayer, nothing he can do. And actually, Hendricks is going to look to the right side of him and try and do something here. Around the outside, we saw him hold that with McKenzie earlier. Doesn't hold it here. Is going to rejoin behind Mayer, and Raymond 2 a little into the grass, maybe caught off guard by everything happening there, and Bowman gets alongside. This will be the last lap of the race. White flag here at Road America. Bowman is not going to be giving this one up. He's got the side draft. Raymond 2 is boxed in. He's bump drafting Hendricks down to turn 1, and they get on the brakes. Oh, 2's done a good job of holding this one here. Oh, a little bit of contact. Who just avoids the wall. That could have been a disaster. He's lucky he just avoided the wall and only lost the 2 positions. He's inches from careening off that wall, and just a massive crash. Dunbar still close to the back of Sierra here, but wasn't able to get alongside him into turn 1. And now Hendricks is dealing with a little bit of last-minute pressure from Bowman. Matthew Mayer's lost contact with Polasek. McKenzie now under pressure from the 1 on this final lap. The gap to Acatella has closed down a bit. It is inside of 5 seconds. So on the outside chance Acatella picks up a penalty or has a last second calamity, it'll be one of these two picking up the pieces. As they come through the kink, I think McKenzie's going to be staying ahead of Polasek in this one. He may have to go defensive and a Canada corner. Just a tenth between them. McKenzie stays on the racing line. Polasek does not go for a move. We will look to Connor Acatella. It's been over a year, nearly 400 days for the 55. The drought has ended. Out of the final corner at Road America. He has survived the chaos and he wins in style. 4 seconds ahead of some of the fastest drivers in the series. Connor Acatella takes the checkered flag and wins at Road America. And it will be second place for McKenzie, third for Polasek, fourth for Mayer, and fifth for Hendricks. And Dave Thomas, who we barely talked about throughout that race, he brings home the back-to-back victories, the sweep of Road America in the Delta class. And at the line, Cooper Akers just barely ekes out Kyle Murray. That was a close finish. Kyle Murray holds on to that podium in the Delta class. Rakowski is P2, Cali 8 P5. A great result for T0 Valkyries in that class in this race. But Acatella, wow, what a victory in this second one today. He kept it clean, he climbed to the front, and then he got the job done from there while everyone fought behind. And as a result, he comes out your winner here in today's race at Road America, the second one of the day. And then McKenzie P2, Polasek P3, so they didn't lose, they didn't have too many points taken off of them by Acatella from that. Well, both races down. It's time to take a look at your final results from today's pair of contests, starting with the first race of the day, and that was won by none other than Michael Polasek. 2.5 seconds over Matthew Mayer, and then Logan McKenzie in third place. Dave Thomas was your Delta race winner in 9th overall, with Kurt Smith and JB DeJay on that podium in second and third. Rakowski, 4th place. Daniels, who started on pole in class, started 5th overall, ended up 20th by the end of that one. And then race number 2, your winner, Connor Acatella, 4 seconds ahead of Logan McKenzie, and then Michael Polasek rounding out that podium. Matthew Mayer right there in 4th. And then Zachary Bowman, look at that, sitting in 6th. Made good on both those races today, and it was a banner day for him. Dave Thomas finishes first in the Delta class. It's a big advantage for him in this race, time-wise, but Jess Rakowski managed to staunch the bleeding points-wise, and there are no cars between her and him. So a strong P2 from Rakowski, and then Murray ends up 3rd. So for Thomas, that's good for him because he ends up with 2 different cars on the podium, or different cars on the podium with him in both races. So big point stay for him relative to his competitors. And that about wraps up the racing from here at Road America. A 45-minute endurance challenge will be our next event at Interlagos next week. And I hope to see you there. We will leave you off with our updated championship standings. But for now, thank you for tuning in every week. Thank you for watching the Alpha Touring Challenge, and have a good night.